Hi, everyone. My name is Julia,
And I'm Katie.
and we're the hosts of the Runways and Byways travel podcast. Today, we have another special episode. We have a special guest again, and it's actually the same special guest we had last episode, Michael. And we actually decided we wanted to have him back for the Israel episode, but we decided to have him back this episode for the Israel episode instead of later down the line because I'm actually sick. I don't know if you could hear it in my voice. So we didn't want to jump into one of the topics where I would have to talk too much and lose my voice by the end of the episode. So here's Michael again.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on.
That's the reason you're here, Michael, not because
Oh, okay, good.
Not because you have anything good to say. So, Michael, would you like to quickly introduce yourself again for people that didn't listen to the last episode?
Yeah, definitely. My name is Michael. I'm a pharmacist. I live in Queens, New York. I'm also actually Katie's boyfriend, and
Yay, you
I'm
said
here.
it this time.
Yay!
I said it this time. Yeah,
Not friend
I
zone
wasn't
this time.
lying. Yeah.
yeah. Very happy to be here with you guys, and yeah, looking forward to the show today.
Great. Thank you so much for coming back. We're really happy to have you back. And we're so excited to hear about Israel because we've actually been trying to plan a trip to Israel. I'm sure Katie's
Oh,
told
nice.
you.
Yeah, she did mention. Mhm.
Yeah, so hopefully this will help us plan. And I've actually been on a couple trips recently. I went to South Carolina and Savannah last weekend, and Katie and I went to the Bahamas the weekend before. So we do want to have episodes about that. We're probably going to be pushing those off to the next two episodes. So this week, we're really happy to have Michael here and have him talk while I'm sick. So,
Yeah, definitely.
are we ready for the trivia question?
I am ready.
Yeah, let's
Michael
do
and
it.
I don't think we've ever done trivia together, so this is fun.
First time.
Okay. So the question is, this country has the highest number of deserts.
Mm.
And the reason I chose
Mm.
this question is because Katie sent me a bunch of Michael's pictures from Israel, and I was like, wow, it's a desert. So I was like, what country has the most deserts? And now I know, and they don't. So,
Oh, wow.
Michael, do you have any clue what it could be?
Hmm. Yeah, I think I might know. I have a good guess.
I feel like I've heard this question before in my life, and I was like, oh, I need to remember that. And then I didn't.
Well,
Mm.
I guess we'll have to find out at the end of the episode if you were able to remember or not.
Yeah, I'm excited. That's a good question.
Yeah,
Thank
very
you.
good question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're ready to
Mhm.
jump in?
I am.
Yeah, ready.
Okay,
All right.
so Michael, what made you want to go to Israel specifically? And just explain to us a little bit about the trip because it is a very specific and special trip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Israel is actually for those listening that don't know, is the only Jewish country in the world. And being Jewish, I thought that's where my roots are. It's a very good opportunity to go visit. It's something that I should do in my life. And they have a very good program for anyone of Jewish descent that wants to go in. It's called Birthright. And you basically are allowed, they give you a whole 10-day trip to go visit Israel. They pay for the flight, they pay for your meals, they pay um for your living conditions where you're going to stay, and everything is covered. They take you places. You're in a group, and I thought it would be a lot of fun, very interesting opportunity to go. And also, I had family that wanted to go together with me. So yeah, I definitely look forward to it.
Wow. You want to hear
Hmm.
something funny?
Yeah.
So growing up, whenever I would talk to somebody who's Jewish, they're like, yeah, I went to Israel for free. And I always just thought it was like a specific individual story. Like, oh, that person went for free. Maybe their parents paid. Oh, that person
Yeah,
also went for free. Their person also went for free. And then eventually I was like, wait, well, how are they all going for free? Like their parents just pay for everything. And then it
Yeah.
wasn't until recently where somebody was like, no, like the government pays. Or I don't
Mhm.
know. Who exactly pays for the trip? Is it the Israeli government?
It's the Israeli government actually.
Okay.
It's something that they value. They think, being the only Jewish country in the world, uh, I guess they feel that, Jewish people are, in all parts of the world, and not all of them have had the opportunity to ever visit Israel, which is considered their homeland. So they wanted to give this opportunity to Jewish people to basically come and visit their roots.
Wow.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
It's great. I don't know how they could afford to have every single Jewish person from all over the world to come for free. That's a lot.
I know there's
That
got to
is a
be
lot. Yeah.
millions, even billions. I don't know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do they
Probably
have donors, or is it like, how does that work?
I believe it's part donors, and I believe it's also part taxpayers that
Got
fund it.
it. Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. Interesting.
So it
Yeah.
was completely paid for. Did you have to pay for anything?
No, completely paid for. We didn't have, I mean, I think we had a little deposit to pay in the beginning. It's something like a few $100 just
Wow.
to make sure that you don't back out. Like once, they sign you up, they
Mm.
book a spot for you basically. And for you to just cancel last minute, I guess that costs them money. It's wasted,
Mm-hmm. Do you
Yeah,
get
that
that
makes
deposit
sense.
back?
Yeah, you get the money back at the end.
Right. So it's
And you have an opportunity to donate towards the organization, towards Birthright, to
Mhm.
give money back into the organization for future people that want to visit.
Oh,
That makes
wow.
sense.
So
Mhm,
it
yeah.
kind of sounds like you didn't do too much planning of this trip. You just signed up and went.
Oh no,
There-
it was great. It was the best trip ever. In that regard, that you didn't have to plan anything. Everything was just taken care of for you.
So there
Mhm.
was no planning process whatsoever. You just sign up.
You just sign up. The only planning you really do is you decide what group you want to go with. So there's different groups. Um, and that's really it. And actually, there's an interesting story that they told us about who is it's because they asked questions like, well, who would be qualified to go on a trip like this? Who's considered Jewish? Is it, do both parents have to be Jewish of for the person to go?
Mm.
What if only one parent is Jewish and the other isn't? So basically, what they came up with was, I don't know. I thought it was a little interesting. They said that during the Holocaust time, uh, what the Nazis considered was enough to make a person Jewish, and
Mm.
put them into concentration camps and do all those terrible things to them, was that they be one. I believe it was 1/8 Jewish.
Mm.
So I
Wow.
think even if you had one grandparent that was considered Jewish, and the rest weren't, then that was enough for them to classify you as Jewish, and you were in that category. So the Israeli government, when they were originally planning this, they said, well, if that's enough for Hitler and for the Nazis to put a human being through, then it'll be enough for us to classify them as Jewish, kind of to balance out, if
Hmm.
if that evil could be done to a person, we based on this qualification, we should do this good for that person. I thought that was very interesting.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, that
if
makes me
that's
really emotional. That's
yeah,
like really powerful. The fact that they took something so horrible and that they then applied it to do good for, their people. That's really beautiful.
it
Yeah,
is.
Yeah.
definitely.
I also wanted to ask, you said that the only thing you choose is the group that you go on. What
Mhm.
types of groups are there?
Oh yeah, I wanted to ask that too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
reminding me.
that's a good question. It's more about affiliation of uh mm, what type of Jewish practice you follow. So are you
Mm.
Orthodox or ultra Orthodox, modern Orthodox, uh, let's see, conservative, reform? It's really just to make you feel more comfortable so that you're surrounded with people that are more like you, or the opposite. Or if you want to just explore just another group and go with a different sect, I guess you could say, of the religion, and just learn more about another group, you could do that too.
That's
And
really
also
cool.
and also it's categorized in addition to that by organization. So there's different Jewish organizations around the world. So they kind of form a group and they want to go together. So maybe it's like a Hatzalah group, uh, uh, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And for those who don't know, Hatzalah is the Jewish
Yeah,
ambulance. Yeah.
the
The
Jewish
Jewish
ambulance. Yes,
Jewish ambulance.
thank you,
Yeah,
Katie.
of course.
Wait, so
Um,
if it's an ambulance group, what? Did I like mishear that? It's a group of what?
Well, there's an organization in New York City that sets up their own ambulances, and it's
Oh,
called Hatzalah, and it's a Jewish organization. So
Aren't
if
they all volunteer?
I believe that, yeah, they're all volunteer,
Yeah.
and
okay.
yeah, if you wanted to go, if that organization Hatzalah, which they're just it's EMT workers basically.
Okay. I was like, what do you mean the
So it's like if they
ambulances
all
go
wanted
to
to go
Israel?
with each other
If they wanted to
to,
go with each other, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Wow. So
You know,
what
they
group did you go with, if you don't mind me asking?
we actually went with so I was with my cousins Bella and Sonia.
Mm.
Katie knows them.
Yes.
And I was with my sister Milana also. So Bella decided that we should go with I believe it was with the conservative group.
Oh.
And and even though that's not the sect that we're part of, I think that was they had an opening or something along those lines. It was good
Like the
timing
dates
that
were right.
yeah, the dates were
Okay.
right, exactly. And Bella just decided to go, and we were just like, okay, it doesn't matter for us, doesn't make a
Yeah.
difference.
So if you don't care about the group, you kind of just go whenever you want. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, you could
Okay.
go with yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I never knew about the process, so that's good to know. I
Yeah,
mean,
and this is
it'll
just
never be
specific.
useful for me, but
Yeah, right. This is specific for people that go on Birthright, but you could do all these things that we're going to talk about today. If you don't go on Birthright, just on your own. It's open to everyone.
oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that kind of brings me to my next question. I actually have two questions. I
Mhm.
want to know what you did there, like the highlights of the trip. And I also kind of
Mhm.
want to know what your group was like. Like what was their vibe? Because especially too, you kind of just chose the date and not necessarily the group. So yeah, just kind of like both of those questions. I'm curious.
Yeah, kind
Mhm.
of building upon that before you start. I also want to
Yeah.
know how many people are in the group and what's the age range? Because I've heard that it goes up to 26. Is that true? Or was everyone around the same age? Were there like children with you? So I'm just curious.
I know it starts at if I'm correct, it starts at 18, I believe. And then it goes up to I think 28. 28 or
Oh,
26.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
oh,
Something
I thought I read
like that.
26, but you're
I
probably more
thought so
right than
too,
me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure, but it's around that age group in, 20s. Yeah, late teens, early 20s, something like that.
Okay, so it's all people that could kind of relate to each other.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not like a big age gap. Okay.
Not a big age gap at all. The people that we went with, most believe everyone was from the United States, which doesn't happen all the time. It's open to anyone from around the world. But most likely because you're flying out from here, most likely you're going to be going with people from where you're departing, basically. And let's see, it was very very young American born people that were coming with us. Let's see, they were uh, mostly from New York City. Some of the another large part was also from Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. So they flew from Phoenix, Arizona to New York City, and very very chill people, very friendly, just people that are looking to have a good time. Yeah, and then going on to what I did over there was, or I'll go over the highlights. Basically, these aren't in order of where we went to. These are just how I remember them. So the first place I'll go over was Jerusalem. Jerusalem, when you go there, so that's their ancient holy city. That's the capital of Israel. That's let's see, it's the biggest, I'd say the biggest thing that you have to do when you're visiting Jerusalem is definitely see the Western Wall. So Western Wall is
Do I have any pictures of that
yeah.
here? I do. Is it this thing?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, very, very pretty city. It looks like I would say kind of old European style. Kind of reminds me a lot of like pictures I've seen of Italy. Yeah.
It almost reminds me of, I've never been to Tunisia, but pictures I've seen of like Tunisia, Morocco, it kind of gives me that vibe.
Yeah, also like North African kind of vibe too.
Yes.
Kind of like a blend between the two, you know?
Yeah, I definitely see that.
And so what's
Yeah,
there to do at the Western Wall? What's the significance?
yeah. So the Western Wall is actually one of the holiest place for Jewish people. This used to be in biblical times. This used to be the temple of God, built by the Jewish people. It was believed that God resided in this temple,
Mm.
and it was basically the throne of God uh, in the earthly realm on earth. And through invasions and wartime and through history, it's been destroyed. But this one section of the temple remained, and this is a very sacred place, and a lot of Jewish people go there and they do prayers. And there's it's very nice. There's little cracks in the wall, and when you go to visit, what you would do is you would write a wish or a prayer. You would write it on like a little scroll, and you could slide it into the crack, and hopefully it gets answered. It's like a tradition.
Oh, wow.
Hmm.
Cute.
So
Yeah.
it actually looks, is this the wall, this long thing here? It looks very big.
Actually, you go back to the last picture. I
The
don't
one, ooh, I'm
the
not
one
good at
before.
computers. Was it this one? Yes.
Yeah. So you see where your mouse is right there? That's it.
Here. This is it.
That's the wall. That's the
So,
wall.
so this big long thing is not it.
I don't think that's it. No.
Okay.
That's not it.
I was gonna say that's a really big temple, if that's the case. It like surrounds the whole city, the one I was looking at.
Yeah. 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 And so I'll just let me just tell you a little bit about Israel. Is there's a northern part of Israel and there's a southern part. It's broken up into two parts, two districts, and the northern part is more how should I say, like more green, more luscious a little bit, and the southern part is more desert, so more dry.
Mm.
So Jerusalem is kind of on the border between those two areas. So for the northern part, it more of like a Miami kind of feel, palm
Really?
trees, yeah, yeah, Mediterranean a little bit, and
Mm.
the southern part is just complete desert, completely dried out.
Wow.
So you kind of have the kind of both worlds in Jerusalem. Um, yeah, and when we were there, actually, the tour guide was telling us about something called it's called the Cardo, which Cardo is these are the main streets that run in they're actually streets built by the ancient Romans.
Mm.
So the Romans built these streets throughout their empire, and there's these cardos that run through parts of Jerusalem, and they're very like pretty, and they're flanked on both sides by giant columns. If you want to type it in
Yeah,
onto
how do you spell that?
yeah, yeah, Cardo, Cardo.
Oh, wow. So they're not usable roads. They're just historical sites almost.
No, no, they're still usable. You could
Oh,
go
they're
to the left.
usable, really.
You go on, yeah, you see that one? You could click that. That's
This
that's
one.
what it looks like. The one below that.
The one below that, I lost
Hmm.
it. This one.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it would have looked like.
Okay.
Yeah, so they
Wow.
showed us these roads, which are they're like 1,500 year old roads, and they were showing us that they were actually doing excavations under these roads, and they were trying to learn more about Jerusalem from the time about 2,000 to 1,500 years ago. So they would take us under in these tunnels, and they would show us different artifacts, and they would show us old biblical coins that they would find underground, and they're like learning um, more about this. I guess you could say this nation, about the Jewish people. There's like images of kings on these old coins. Very, very interesting.
Hmm.
And yeah, when you visit Israel, you could tell there's a lot of history. There's a lot of history. It goes back for a very long time. Very 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 beautiful place.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems really interesting. I'm big into history, even though I never remember any of it. I just like hearing it.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd really enjoy this kind of trip.
Yeah, that's really cool. So what else did you
Mhm.
do in Jerusalem?
mm, in Jerusalem, they took us there. They took us under the tunnels. They showed us they have like kind of flea markets in Jerusalem that you can go to, kind of bazaars. They're very open, very let's see, very there's a lot of things to buy, very loud, very lively, very interesting places.
Mm.
Hmm. So we didn't spend that much time there. And then after that, we went to we went to the southern district and we stayed at the Bedouin camps.
How do you spell that?
So it's a Bedouin.
Bedouin camp.
Bedouin camps. Yeah, camp.
Is this it?
Yeah,
Oh
that's it.
wow, that
Wow.
is desert.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you guys ever heard of Bedouins?
I
No,
have
what is
not.
that?
Okay, so they're an ancient desert dwelling people, and they've learned for thousands of years actually to live in places that human beings basically have no business living in.
Mm.
In deserts, there's almost no food, almost no water, but they've learned tricks and skills on how to survive in these very, very harsh environments.
And you stayed out there?
And we stayed there. Yeah, they're
Wow.
they're known for building these very beautiful, elaborate tents.
I don't know. Humans aren't supposed to survive out there, like you said.
Yeah,
Oh,
something they told us about these people. They're actually used by the Israeli military
huh.
because they're so good at tracking in the desert.
Mm.
They're actually used in the military. They're apparently known for having a very keen sense of smell, and they're able
The
to
people, the
the
Bedouin
people.
people.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Bedouin people. They've developed or they've learned to hone this sense, and they're able to use it to track, and they use it to track animals and any sort
Wow.
of food and to find water. So we
wow.
stay.
Crazy.
So
Yeah,
they
so
could just
they're
smell water and be like, "Oh, it's this way."
yeah, yeah.
What?
Wow.
And so, right, so this is the southern district. This is remember, this is the very dry, this is the very desert
Mm.
terrain. And this is actually where they took us. So we stayed in these tents overnight. By the way, desert gets very cold at night.
I
Hmm.
heard,
So
yeah.
so
Yeah.
so very hot in the daytime, and then you have to deal with like frigid winter-like weather at night.
So
And
you
this
have to
just
know how to
happened.
pack for this trip.
Yeah, you just have to go back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we stayed at the camps.
So I'm gonna guess there was no heat in the tents or air conditioning.
No, there wasn't.
Yeah.
But they kind of layer it in a way to insulate it. They insulate it very well.
Mm.
Okay.
Hmm.
So you didn't feel freezing?
No, they took care of us. It was very good. And in the daytime, the next morning, they took us out to ride on camels.
Ah.
Yeah.
I was kind of I'll explain what that scream was about to anyone that's confused. I explained it to Katie and I like kind of touched upon it with Michael that I've always wanted to ride a camel, and not just any camel, but a camel in a desert. So
Hmm.
one at the petting zoo won't satisfy my need. I really want
Oh,
to
okay.
go to the desert and ride a camel. So
Mm.
I'd say that's like number 2 on my bucket list. So I really
What is
want to
it
hear
about
about this.
camels for you?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I wish I knew. I wish I could
It's
tell
just
you.
the aesthetic of
I
being in a desert.
I honestly think it is. Yeah. Because I have
And it
no
would be
good
a cute
explanation.
picture.
It would.
Have you ever ridden on a horse?
Yes, I have. I actually used to ride horses.
She was on the
Okay.
equestrian team.
Yes, I was.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. So you have no fear of riding on them.
No. I mean, it's been
Okay.
a while, but I
Hmm.
don't think so.
Oh, okay. Wow. Interesting. Well, camels, they're actually you're sitting a lot higher than you would sit on a horse.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
they're much taller.
Ooh,
And
I don't know about that.
hmm.
Really? Oh,
Hmm.
wait, I want to look up a picture. Oh, you sent me a picture actually, but I'll
Yeah.
look it up here. So,
Hmm.
riding a camel.
Oh wow. Yeah, because their legs are so
Oh
tall.
wow. Yeah, this one has Legs for days.
Yeah, I was very
Literally
surprised.
me, though.
Very surprised at how long the legs were. I was not expecting the legs to be that long.
Wow.
You're like, who is she?
Those legs.
Oh, we could both do it, Julia.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be fun.
That's so
Wait,
cute.
so-
That's such goals.
Mhm.
You sit on the hump.
You sit in
Or-
between the humps, actually.
So how are two people riding this?
Two people riding it
Yeah.
because I believe they have.
Oh, like there's like a pillow on it.
I believe you sit in front of one hump. In front of the front hump, you could sit,
Okay.
and then behind the front hump, behind the front hump, that's where the second person sits.
So did you get
Okay.
your own camel?
No, we had two. We had two people to a camel.
Who were you riding with?
I was riding with I think her name was Michelle.
Oh, so
one
it
of the
was just
people in the group.
someone you didn't know, really.
Yeah, it was just I mean we all became very friendly there. We played games together, so we all knew each other
Yeah.
at that point. We
I
felt
love those
comfortable with
kinds
each
of
other.
trips.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah, they actually say it's better to go alone without any family, so that this way you're kind of forced to socialize more with other people in the group.
Right, but then you brought like 4 of your
Yeah, I
family
brought.
members.
Well, I was actually the one that they brought. So they were like, we can't go alone. We want to bring a boy, and so they brought me.
Was
Yeah, I
it
feel like
because
I
of
would
a
wanna bring
safety
you.
thing?
Security. It was a
Yeah.
safety thing, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was actually going to ask, did you feel safe there? Because I know the Middle East kind of has a reputation. So
Mm,
how did you feel?
it has a reputation. Yeah, it has a reputation. I was a little nervous going there, but they make you feel very safe with the group that we went to. They actually provided armed security guard.
Wow.
So wherever we went, yeah, he was with us,
Wow.
and it feels that, at least the way I felt, was once I got there, I felt a lot more safe
Mhm.
because it just seemed like a very how should I describe it? A very modern
Mm.
nation. It didn't seem very backward. It kind of felt a little bit like home.
Wow,
Oh.
really? Okay.
So there's
So
police officers walking around. You have businessmen and women walking around going to work.
mhm.
It reminded me a lot of home. So
So if you were to go without an armed security guard,
mhm.
would you still feel safe?
I think so, but I would just do research and just make sure I know where I'm going ahead of time.
Hmm.
Just be sure that the places that you're going to are safe and they're known for touristy places. Just don't get lost anywhere. That's what I would be careful about.
Yeah, I think I would probably go everywhere with a tour just to be safe.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's good too. Just to be with more numbers,
Hmm. Yeah, that's not the kind of place I think I would go running off on my own.
But yeah, it's
Yeah.
but yeah, definitely remember, like, even though you might feel safe, just remember that is the Middle East, and they do have terrorism problems. Actually, one of the flea markets that we went to, after we left, they had a terrorist incident just after we
Really?
left.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I believe it was a shooting, or it was a bombing, one of those.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
that's really scary.
So yeah, just remember you're in that kind of area, and that actually reflects on the people too. The people are very tough, very because they have to be.
Mm.
Everyone there is in the military.
Mm.
Once you become of age, you join the military, men, women, all of them. You have to
Wow.
serve. So I think when we talked about Iceland, it's I told you the people are very warm and gentle and friendly.
Mm.
The people here are, you could tell they're tougher. They have to,
Because they have to be.
they're
Yeah.
much more alert,
Uh-huh.
and they are aware of, this is where they live, and they have uh security threats on a regular basis.
Yeah, very opposite
So it does
places that
change.
you went to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does change the people. But yeah, they are very, very friendly people.
Hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Were there any other major highlights from your trip?
hmm Well, let's see. I'll tell you about the Masada National Park. I definitely recommend seeing that. So Masada National Park, that's also in the Southern District.
Masada.
Yeah, you got it. National Park.
Woo. Okay. Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, very
Wow.
pretty. Very pretty.
Yeah.
It's an ancient fortress.
Mm.
It's actually on a massive plateau. That's what you're seeing, that flat
I'd be so
rock.
scared.
Oh yeah, Katie can't go here.
Yeah, definitely scared of that.
So is that a canyon or is it? I'm not good at geography.
It's basically, a plateau is basically just a large lump of earth that sticks out of the ground, and on the top is completely flat.
Oh right, I learned about that in 4th grade.
Right. And again, it's in desert terrain. Very beautiful. I actually sent Katie pictures, so I don't know if you guys, if
Yes,
she's
I got
able to,
those.
she will post those up. And
Yes.
it's you can take a cable car tour of that whole national park. Very pretty. You're going to be high up, so if you are afraid of heights, definitely think about doing that.
I'm fine in a cable car. I'm not okay. I don't trust myself. That's the issue. I don't trust like, I mean, you know me, I
really?
fall all the time. But if I'm in a cable car, I'll be fine.
Well, the cable car just probably takes you up and down, right? Like you have to get off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, then no.
Yeah. You get up
stay
to
in
the
the
top.
cable car.
From what I remember, you get up to the top, you walk around a little, and you go back down. But yeah, very pretty, very high up. You get a very good view of the whole national park. And it actually used to be a palace of an ancient king. That's like part of that area. So you get to see that. It's in ruin. It's in ruins, but it's, you just get a sense of how old this place is.
Is this it?
You see? What is that? What does the description say there?
Review of Masada National Park.
You could type in, once you have Masada National Park, type in King Herod's Palace, and you'll see it. Herod.
Herrod.
Herod.
Ooh.
You see it? Yeah.
Wow, imagine living there. I could not.
Wow. Oh God.
Could not be me.
Yeah, so they take you around. They make you walk. They don't make you. They take you for a walk around the whole area. You go hiking. It's not easy. There are a lot of cliffs and hills. So it's.
What was wrong with this king? Why would he want to live on a hill like that? Like he must have fallen every day. That's so scary.
Oh my gosh.
It's so
I mean,
steep.
it's a pretty view, to be fair.
But it's so steep.
But it's also thousands of years ago, so the terrain would look different. Also, it was probably less dry and more green.
Yeah, the earth has definitely changed, I'm sure.
It's dried up, yeah. And actually, you could see you get this national park, this Masada National Park, overlooks the Dead Sea.
Oh,
which is another big thing to do if you're going to Israel.
I've never seen the Dead Sea, so I actually need to look at some pictures. Did you go to the Dead Sea?
I actually saw a picture of it today.
Oh wow, yes, I've never seen the Dead Sea.
It's very brown looking.
Really?
Oh no, wow,
it's not.
Look at that.
but it's
it's actually not at all.
I guess when we were there, you see that picture, the second row on the left.
Second row.
Yeah, you see that one?
This one.
That one. Yeah, you see how it kind of looks brown?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it looked like when we were there. It didn't look this green.
Yeah, are all these edited maybe?
Yeah, like filtered, but all of them
maybe it's a
edited?
different time of the year. Maybe it's a different time of the year.
Interesting. When did you go?
We went in the beginning of summer. So the transition from springtime into summer.
Okay. I mean, this kind of looks like what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Okay.
Maybe
Maybe it's different parts.
Did they put something on them?
Yeah, so they give you, like, you could purchase. So the Dead Sea is known for having a lot of minerals in it. It's supposed to be good for your skin, very healthy to soak in it. So the tourist industry in the region takes advantage of that, and they sell this mud. You know how it is. And they
I would
make
totally cover myself in mud.
I mean, obviously, naturally, that's what you do. And you're there, might as well. And that's what we did. That's what I did.
Wow.
And you just soak in it, and it has so it's very salty, this Dead Sea. It's extremely salty. It's so salty actually that if you have any openings, I would say, I'll put it that way, in your body, any cuts, right? It is really gonna sting.
I read that today, actually. I saw something, this travel blogger posted it, and
Mm-hmm.
I was reading her post, and
Mm-hmm.
she wrote that, and I was like, wow, I just found out that
Mm-hmm.
out a couple hours ago actually. So it's funny you
Yeah.
bring that up.
Yeah. And
Wow.
yeah, so you will get a burning sensation in the genitals area. That's gonna happen.
Okay.
But apart from that,
Really?
very cool. Very cool. You could actually, because it's so salty, and it has a different type of density than normal lakes and bodies of water, you could actually lay in it and you'll float. I don't know if you guys know about that.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, it'll keep you afloat. You won't sink. Even if
Wow.
you try to go down.
Oh,
Oh, I see
And
this guy reading a
yeah,
newspaper.
like
Yeah.
this guy.
yeah, yeah, look at him.
Wow.
That's so funny.
The consistency, the water is very thick also. It's almost like oily kind of, you know?
Ooh.
Yeah, but
Really?
very, very pleasant, especially the time that we went in. In Israel, end of spring, extremely hot, extremely hot.
The water?
The water and the climate.
Hmm.
You're in the Middle East, you know, you're in the desert, so it's very, very hot. So just keep that in mind for people that want to go. If you're gonna go in the summertime, it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be oppressive heat. You're gonna have carry a lot of water with you, head coverings.
Also, the summer
Mhm,
is probably their on season too. That's probably when the most tourists come. So if you're trying to get cheaper
mhm,
prices, also you'd probably be better off
probably.
going a different time of the year.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah, like could you go in January? Would that be fine?
I think you could, but I think that's their rainy season. I think that's when it rains over there during
Oh.
winter time. That's considered their raining time.
So you'd
So
really have to do your research when you're gonna book it.
yeah, look for a good time and just look at what other people recommend
Mm.
and just whatever works for you, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely worth looking into. I mean, I don't mind the heat, but I know a lot of
Mhm.
people do.
And also, actually, apparently, it's shrinking this Dead Sea.
Hmm.
So it's because of climate change and the Earth is getting warmer. It's actually going away. So definitely
So sad.
see it while you can. Yeah. And then once it
Yeah.
goes away, I don't think there's anything really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that. Actually, I heard that today too, that
Mhm.
it's you need to go soon, otherwise it's gonna be gone in I don't know how many years. But
So
I
Julia,
hope
we gotta get a move on.
I know we gotta get going.
Okay, yeah, and then I'll tell you, after that we went to Tel Aviv. That's
Oh,
another
I've heard a lot about Tel
Yes.
Aviv. I don't
major
know anything
city.
about it. Yeah.
Very fun city, whereas Jerusalem is more
It's
old-fashioned,
like
ancient city,
historical.
So is this the
historical.
Miami?
This is the
It looks
Miami.
like
Yeah.
Miami.
This is their modern 21st century city. It's in the northern district. So that's where you have all the green. You see they have lots of food, shops, nightlife, like clubs.
Mhm.
They took us to clubs there. That was fun.
You went clubbing in Israel on your
Yeah,
birthright trip?
yeah, we did.
Wow.
Yeah, what I recommend going to see over there actually in Tel Aviv is called the Carmel Market. If you type that in,
Like
you'll see what that's like.
carm
Like caramel,
caramel
like
without
a
the extra A.
yeah.
Carmel.
Big bazaar, lots of food, lots
Oh.
of
Oh
exotic
wow.
fruits, clothing. It is packed. It is so many people, but it's so much fun.
Mm.
I would definitely recommend going in there, buying a bunch of stuff just for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. I feel like I'm not a big fruit person, even though I should be.
Oh, not just
Everyone
fruit,
should be,
not just
but
fruit. Julia, they have shawarma,
Ooh.
falafel, meats, shish
oh.
kebabs.
Mm.
It
Heck yeah.
so good,
Oh,
so
look at
good.
Like
that.
TikTok
Extremely
would
packed.
be thriving.
It really would.
They have ice cream there, like a very specialized ice cream they make over there.
Mm. I'm allergic.
Yeah, but a ton of people. So if you're if you're afraid of like large crowds, I wouldn't go there. But if you can be comfortable, if you could make yourself be comfortable surrounded by a ton of people, definitely check it out.
I don't think I mind as long as I know going into it that there's a lot of people.
And actually, you're allowed to haggle over there, so
Huh.
you could bargain for the prices. Just what I will tell you is when they see Americans are known for being generous with their money, a little bit more so than other people.
Not me.
Really?
Well, that's the stereotype. So that's the stereotype. So they will try to get more money out of you. If you start speaking English with them, they'll immediately figure out that you're American, and they will try to get more money from you. But but very friendly, like they'll treat you very well.
I mean, friendly, but just wants your money.
They will, yeah, they'll try to get your money.
So they speak Hebrew there, right?
Yeah, but like a lot of places in the world, everyone speaks English also.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's like their Spanish for us. It's like second language. You speak Hebrew,
Yeah.
but you have to learn English because that's what that's the, I guess, language of the world now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you speak Hebrew there to try to like kind of fit in, or did you just speak English?
No, I can't speak Hebrew at all.
Oh, you can't? Oh.
No, no.
All right, I think we went over this.
We
Yeah,
did,
yeah.
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 No, nope, no Hebrew.
Wow.
Wow, yeah. I definitely want to check that out. Maybe not buy fruit, but I would definitely buy something else.
No fruit, no ice cream, but
Mhm.
shawarma sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Are there any
other
other? Oh, wow.
major wow.
Thanks. You owe me a soda?
Mm.
Any other major standouts from the trip? Like have to go see.
Have to go see. Let's see. I think that's pretty much everything I went
Nice.
that we did over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Sounds like a great trip.
Yeah, we also saw some museums over there, but
Mhm.
nothing
That
that
you
you would
have
have to
to,
do.
yeah.
Yeah, I think these things I would focus more on them.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Wow, that's amazing. That really makes me want to go. So, out of these things that you've told us, do you have favorites and least favorites? Are there things that you'd never want to do again that you did there, or things that like you say like you absolutely have to do there?
Yeah, I would definitely must visit Jerusalem and must visit Tel Aviv. The Masada National Park also. The camels thing, I definitely wouldn't do again. I was
Right? Why not?
I was very scared. It was a very scary experience.
Aw.
I do not like
Aw.
being on top of like an animal.
We could go and I could hold your
Horses.
hand.
Have you ever rode a horse?
Yeah, I did a few
And
times.
so camels are more scary.
Yeah, I was terrified of horses, and the camels was just even worse.
Yeah.
Aw. That's cute.
Because they Julia would know this. They can feel your fear,
Yes.
Mhm.
so they know you're afraid, and then they kind of judge you for that, and then they kind of
Especially
they
camels. I feel like they're
they
judgy animals.
they completely they take advantage of it.
It's like spit
Yeah,
on you.
unbelievable.
Yeah, right?
I'm surprised they didn't.
Aw.
I've
These
been
are
spit
so
on by a
cute.
camel, actually. I guess I'm not
Oh,
so cute.
ugh.
Wait, you got spit on by a camel?
Yeah, at the zoo.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's why you're like, I'm not writing you. I am writing the real version of you.
You're the knockoff version. I want the real
Yeah.
thing. The real thing wouldn't spit on me.
Yeah.
Oof.
That's so funny. And do you have any least favorites from the trip? Oh wait, I guess least favorites would be camel.
Yeah, but that was just honestly that's just a joke. Everything was so much fun, and just for anyone going on Birthright, I would say that organization, the way they set it up, they're very it's planned very well. They incorporate a lot of history into it and tradition and culture, so you will learn a lot more about your roots. Very enriching experience, definitely.
Yeah.
If you have a chance to go, if you can, I would really recommend it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Do you have any other advice for people who maybe want to go or maybe they're in the process of going, things to look out
Mm.
for?
Mm, just keep in mind it's a 10.5 hour flight from if you're gonna go from New York City. That's a nonstop. I can tell you that. Let's
Is it
see.
expensive, the flight?
He wouldn't know.
This I wouldn't actually. I do know it is on the pricier side. It
Is
is on
there
the
any
pricier
like
side.
deals? Because I know like maybe with Shabbat, like maybe if I took like a Friday night flight.
Yeah, I'm sure there would be.
Yeah, so keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Or like maybe if
Yeah.
I went over the course of a holiday, like Passover, nobody else would be on the flight.
Yeah, I'm sure you
Unless
could
people are going to
find.
visit family for Passover.
No, but I'm saying like in the process of Passover's already
Oh, yeah.
happening.
During.
Mm.
Yeah. So, I mean, but I'm sure if you're very religious, you would be one of those people who wouldn't.
But
Right.
Israel, they're very diverse over there. So there's people that also they don't keep, so they
Yeah.
are flying. So just keep that in mind. But I'm sure you'll be able to find good prices. It's like anywhere else, You
Mm.
just have to find a good time to go.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Hmm.
Yeah, like we said before, like the off season, just go during a month that people wouldn't typically go. Everything's still there, You pretty
Yeah.
much do everything you still want to do for the most part.
Yeah, for sure.
So
And
it,
yeah,
what were you saying?
plan for changing weather also
Mm,
over there, because of the desert climate, nights can be very cold, daytime very warm. So
Hmm.
mm.
yeah, keep that in mind.
Yeah,
How are
that's
the
important.
Mhm.
how are the bugs there?
The bugs?
Yeah,
I don't think there are any.
really? Yeah, because when you think
Not
of
one bug.
not a single bug in the whole country.
I don't remember having You know what? Actually, in Tel Aviv, in we're the northern district where there's more greenery around. I think there were some bugs, but in the desert, no, not at all.
Just like two or
Mm.
three bugs.
That's so
Yeah,
funny.
don't remember having a problem with bugs.
Mm.
Yeah, because when you think of hot climates and deserts, my mind always jumps to bugs, bugs, bugs.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, like India would have, you know,
I
but
don't
I guess
even want to
that
know.
but
would
it's
be a little
different.
bit more of
Yeah,
like a humid climate. Is it
humid. Yeah.
humid there? Or is it just kind of hot, like dry heat?
Well, actually, hmm, it's more dry heat. Yeah, because the desert.
Then
But I guess
that would
when you're
make
by
sense.
yeah, but then when
Mm,
you're in the northern district, right? Like I said in Tel Aviv, that's actually by the coast of the Mediterranean, right? So when
Mm.
you're by the coast, by the water, there over there, it could be a little bit more humid.
Okay, right. But
Hmm.
then Jerusalem is not humid.
No, Jerusalem was very dry.
mm.
Nice.
Mm.
That's what my lungs need. I can't take the Florida humidity anymore. I
Yeah.
think I need a cleanse. I need to
Mm.
go to a desert.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need to go to a desert.
So it kind of sounds like you would recommend this trip, but I just want to hear your actual answer as would you recommend it and who exactly would you recommend it for both Birthright and Israel in general?
Hmm.
And do you think a budget traveler could potentially swing it?
Yeah, listen, if you have an opportunity to go on Birthright, definitely take it. It's a free trip, and it's an amazing trip. So it's 10 days, it's long. You're gonna have a bunch of activities. Like in between all these things that we were going and doing, they were giving us great food. We were playing games that they would all organize. They would schedule everything for you. Mm, you have security on the trip, which is a plus. So I think if you have Birthright, it's no question. You must go. You have to go.
Mm.
If you're going outside of Birthright, just keep in mind that it has to be worth it for you because it is an expensive trip.
Okay.
Mm. Yeah, I could imagine.
Hmm. It all adds up, all these things, like the airplane, and you'd have to be staying at different places. Yeah, I would say it's more expensive.
Yeah, but there are always ways around it. Like Katie and I just recorded a podcast a few weeks ago about budget
Hmm.
travel hacks. So there are ways around it that
Definitely,
you could make it
definitely.
accessible if you are on a budget.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm not worried. We're still going, Katie.
nice,
Yeah,
nice.
and Julie and I were actually thinking instead of just going to Israel, we were thinking of going there via cruise. Do you think that would be something that would be a good idea? Or do you think it should be a trip that you go and you stay for 10 days like you did and did all this stuff? Because we'd be going to Jerusalem maybe 1 day or 2 days and then to
Hmm.
Tel Aviv 1 day. Like, would you recommend that or?
Yeah, if you guys are okay with that and then you want to do other things, I would definitely recommend. I mean, you'd be in the Mediterranean, right? So you'd probably be
Big
you'd be cruising also to like Italy
Italy,
and Greece and Sicily. So
Turkey, yeah.
Hmm.
yeah, that you're gonna get a good variety, I feel.
Okay. If you're welcome to join, if you'd like to join.
Oh wow. Thank you very much. I might take you up on
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be
that.
nice to kind of have like a personal tour guide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also have a question.
Yeah.
So, obviously you were born Jewish, you've heard about Israel. Do you think that this trip met your expectations? Like, what did you think Israel would be like versus what the reality was?
I thought it would be more older, more ancient. I thought it was just gonna be an
Mm,
old city. Um, but I was really surprised that it has really best of both worlds. You have you have really old places, but you also at the same time have places like Tel Aviv, very modern nightlife, clubs.
mm.
So that was really surprising to me. And also you would think, I don't know, you have like this thought that everyone there is religious, and that's not true. It's a very democratic country, so it's very much like US, like a lot of people, everyone just kind of does what they want to do.
Hmm.
Were there
So
other
it's
religions that you saw there besides
Yeah, very
Judaism?
interesting actually, especially in Jerusalem. You see Christians,
Mm.
Muslims, and you see Jewish people just all living together, and it was really nice.
Wow.
They just obviously there's problems here and there, but for the most part, I guess 99% of humans just want to live in peace and
Mm.
just
And
do
then it's
their own
like that
thing.
1% ruins
Yeah,
it
it's
for
the
everybody.
1% is the loudest, and I feel like they
Yeah.
make the most noise, and they kind of ruin it for everyone else. But
Yeah.
most people are they're just chill. They're like, you see like a rabbi sitting next to a woman covered in full Islamic, on the bus.
Just
Wow.
like chatting.
Yeah. Well, not chatting, but they'll just be like sitting right next to each
Oh,
other, and it's
okay.
no problem. It's
Okay,
it's
we
just
don't go that far.
they'll both be like, they'll both be on their phones, and it's like it's no big deal.
Yeah. Okay.
It's nice that like everyone's learned to coexist. Like it is here to kind of
I was
here
gonna say like
also.
kind of like New York City too. You would
Yeah.
see that. Yeah.
Yeah, like New York City too, right? You have all these New York City much more, right? You have much more different diversity.
Mm.
And yeah, obviously we have problems in New York City too, but for the most part, everyone kind of just does their own thing,
Yeah.
I think that's just a human thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes
You don't
sense.
realize how similar everywhere else in the world is to where you're from a lot of the time. You think it's going to be so different and so old or so
Mm.
isolated with certain populations, but when you go to certain places, you realize it's really not that different.
Yeah, that's kind of
Mm.
like what you were saying with Zimbabwe. You would think a
Yes.
place like Zimbabwe is just so different, but at the end of the day, like we're all humans and we all still do crave like society and civilization. So like there's a lot more similarities than differences, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I would say that's one of the most different places I've been, but it's still very similar. Like it wasn't what I pictured. I mean,
Yeah.
differences obviously, like you could have 20 wives there and it's completely fine. You could run into a lion on the
wow.
street. I
there are
mean,
differences.
Yeah, that is different. Different.
there are
But I
major
remember when you were
differences, but
telling me about it, I was like, oh, like when I saw the resorts, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like high class. But I would never
yeah,
have thought it would be in Zimbabwe.
yeah,
you know?
there is still that sense of modern human society. It's not just
Mhm.
like tribes. I mean, there are tribes, but
Mhm.
it's not all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely got that in Israel too. It's like, people also they just want to have good food. Just like when we went to the bazaar, they want to enjoy good food. They want to, I mean, at the Bedouin camp, I actually forgot to mention this. After we rode on the camels the next day, that night they lit like a giant bonfire, and they had a DJ there, and we had dance. We just danced. So people want to dance. They want to, enjoy each other and have a good time.
Do
So
people fall in love there
yeah, there's a lot of stories. They told us
in
a lot of
Birthright?
stories.
Because I feel like I
Yeah.
would fall in love with like any guy I see at like if it was like a bonfire in the middle of a desert.
Yeah. Yeah. It happens
Yeah.
all the time. They showed us pictures of people that
Wow.
on previous trips that got married. They met there. They've been together for years.
That could have been you and Michelle, but I'm really glad it wasn't.
Yeah.
On that camel.
I'm happy too.
It's a close one.
It was almost. We rode a camel together.
Yeah, maybe if you liked camels a little more, it could have happened. But I guess you were like a little
less terrified. I was convinced I was gonna die. I'm gonna fall off this camel. I'm
You're
gonna
like, I don't
break
have
some.
time to flirt with you right now. I'm like,
Yeah, he just didn't have the confidence that day.
Oh no.
that's so funny. That's cute though.
So, if you went back, what would you do differently besides maybe having confidence on the camel?
What I would do differently is, I actually would like to go on my own a little bit, because with the trip, everything's planned out for you.
Mm.
But I would also, because I do like to set up my own trips. I would also like to do my own research and find out what I would want to see also. So I would try that a second time for
When
sure.
you say on your own, do you mean like on your
Not
own
on
with Katie?
Yeah,
And
definitely. That's
Julia?
what I mean. And Julia, right? Yes. I meant outside of a group where you're told where to go.
Right.
And
Like
just
you want to
just
do it yourself.
sometimes you want to stay a little bit longer. I feel like in Jerusalem, I wanted to stay a little bit longer, but we kind of had to go because we had other things to do, and you have to hit every target. But yeah, other than that, I would definitely go back there again. Even though they have there is a danger part. It's not like Iceland where you go like you're going to be safe in Iceland, and here like there's a risk, but if you take precautions and just you stick to places that are safe and have a good reputation, look at reviews, do good research, try to go with a good group. Don't go. I wouldn't go here by myself. Yeah, I think you'll have a great time.
I mean, it's really like that with a lot of the world that
Yeah, definitely,
you need
exactly.
to always watch your back pretty much everywhere, even Iceland. I'm sure stuff happens under the radar. I mean,
Stuff
it's
must happen there,
you
right?
got it. Yeah, there's risks everywhere. I mean, I'm sure Israel probably has more risk than Iceland, but I think everywhere that's a good tip. Just watch your back,
Yeah,
and
I'm sure
plan things
Canada's not
out.
that. I'm sure Canada's not that safe either, right?
Oh,
I'm
I'm
sure stuff
sure.
happens in Canada too.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just
And
always gotta
Disney
plan.
World, I'm sure
Oh
And
things
yeah.
Disney
happen there
World.
too.
Disney's good at burying it. I'm sure.
Dis-
Yeah, I'm
oh
sure
yeah.
stuff goes down.
Yeah. Um, so Michael, last question.
Yeah.
Last time we talked about having priorities in a trip, right? Like Julie and
Hmm.
I, we prioritize safety a lot. So,
Hmm.
I mean, we still want to go to Israel, but we really have to make sure that we, do our research and all that stuff. But what were your priorities going into this trip, and did it meet those priorities of what you really wanted out of a trip?
My priorities was honestly just taking. My priority was this. I had this one opportunity. I could go on this trip one time,
Mm-hmm.
and I just wanted to take in as much as I could and just see where we come from, because the Jewish people are very old people. It's one of the oldest people in the world. It's 4,000 or 5,000 year old,
Yeah.
a year old people. And I just wanted to take as much of my history, my lineage, as much as I could take in that relatively short period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
That's
good
And I
priority to
feel like I
have.
did. I feel like I
Yeah.
did. I feel like I talked to the people there. I feel like I ate the food there. I saw the places there.
Very present.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like with a trip like this, you can't go in with that many priorities because it's planned for you, so you don't really have a choice. But
Yeah.
it is nice that you kind of set that goal for yourself to meet people and learn about your culture.
Hmm. And they have a very good reputation. This Birthright organization. Everyone that I've spoken to, they said it's just an amazing, life-changing experience. So
Mm,
I was very excited to go.
nice. So, do you
Yeah.
have any last minute words before we do the trivia question?
Yeah, I think I'm done. Let's do the
Oh.
trivia.
Oh, wow. Okay. I thought you were going to say something like so profound and beautiful, but we're
No,
done.
He's like, nope.
that was my profound, beautiful part.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah,
Do
he's
you
like,
have any final words, Julia?
I do not. I mean, I'm really excited to start planning our trip now. I think this really just excited me even more.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Because I didn't know anything about it going into this. I just knew there were deserts and there was God.
Oh, there's so
Camels.
much
Yeah.
more. So much more. Yeah.
Yeah. Deserts
Yeah.
of God, but there is
Deserts and God.
nice. Yeah, I definitely do want to go. I still do think I will go on a cruise, but hopefully a lot of people out there feel inspired to go in whatever way they feel comfortable.
Yes, I
Yeah,
agree.
definitely.
And now knowing all that we know now, we can plan for ourselves better. And I hope everyone that's listening can plan for themselves better, whatever is right for them.
It's pretty much what I just said, but in a
Yes.
different way.
Wow.
I thought
Katie,
it was good.
someone's got to end it, and I'm always the one that has to end it. So what do you want me to say?
Hey, I did it, and you're like, I'm gonna end it now.
But you never end it. So I always,
Wow.
I
Okay.
always gotta pick up the
Trivia
pieces.
question.
Right. Throwing shade left and right. Trivia question was, which country has the most deserts?
Katie, you want to go first?
So I remember hearing this question, and I remember being very surprised by the answer. Do I remember the answer? No. And I'm sure I'll be surprised again today. I feel like it's somewhere in Africa, and I was like, that's the most desert, because I thought it was Egypt. So I don't want to say Egypt. So I'm gonna let you go first, Michael, because I do have an answer and I'm not going to change it.
I feel like it could be Saudi Arabia.
That's what I was gonna say.
Really?
Yeah, I was gonna say Saudi Arabia.
I bet you were just waiting for me to say my answer, and then you would just pick my answer and just
No, that's
say
what it seems like I was doing, but I actually
Oh,
was
okay.
going to do Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. Okay.
Should we
Wow.
go
Final
to
answer?
Saudi Arabia?
Saudi Arabia.
So you're both wrong in the exact same way. Awesome.
Is it like Tanzania?
Oh no.
It is actually very surprising. I was really surprised when I looked it up. Do you want to take like one more guess just for fun?
Is it Antarctica?
Imagine.
Is it Australia?
Australia is not a continent. Well, I know, but
Julia.
Mm.
I was just bringing up old wounds.
old
Yes.
trauma. You have Australia trauma.
But this isn't about continents. This is about countries. So
Australia is actually a country too.
yes,
Yeah,
that's
it
true.
is. It is.
I don't know what it is anymore. I mean, my whole
You're like, let's just not
Julia's
even
like, I
talk
give
about
up.
yeah, my whole worldview changed after last episode. I don't know.
it. Your mind
okay.
has been awakened.
I don't even feel like I should be hosting this podcast anymore after that. But keep going. So so the answer is actually China.
Wow.
Yeah, right. So let me pull it back up again. It said how many deserts China has.
I didn't even know China had one desert.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
me
know.
too.
China has 13 deserts. Followed by, do you want me to tell you what the number 2 is, or do you want to guess?
It's gonna be something so random that
I
you
have
wouldn't
the top
guess in a
3
million
here.
years.
Is it Russia?
It is not Russia.
Not Russia.
Is
Mongolia.
it Mongolia? Oh,
It is not Mongolia, but you're getting warmer.
ooh.
Do you want me to just say it, or
Uzbekistan.
you're getting a lot warmer?
Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan.
You're getting warmer.
What's another stan?
Wait, what was the last one you just said? Kazakhstan?
Kazakhstan.
That's actually the number 3.
Kyrgyzstan. No, that's not a country.
So the third country with the highest number of deserts is Kazakhstan. But you're missing the number 2.
Tajikistan.
No. Is that
No.
even a real place? Are you making things up? Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, no.
You're just adding stan to random sounds.
It's not random sounds.
I don't know.
You're forgetting one of the stands that's pretty common. I'm surprised.
Oh,
actually.
Turkmenistan.
No.
I don't think Turkmenistan is common.
Afghanistan.
The other more common one.
Pakistan.
Yes.
Woo!
Oh, Katie.
After 15
Good job.
guesses.
I would never have gotten any of those answers.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a tricky one. I
It's a
mean,
good question.
Yeah,
Thank
great
you.
question.
Thank you. Yeah, I felt it was semi-relevant.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Michael went to a desert, so.
Yeah, desert
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, because when I looked it up, I looked up the most desertous countries, or the countries with the most deserts, and I was expecting Israel to be on the list, at least in the top 3, but it wasn't. So, yeah, I was so shocked that China was number 1. I mean, I didn't know they had any
I'm surprised
deserts.
it's not a Middle East country or African country.
Yeah, I mean, I only have the top 3
Sahara
here.
Desert.
Yeah, I don't know how big the Sahara is, but I guess
But that's the thing. It's like the Sahara is so big, but it's still considered one desert, whereas China might have 13 little
that
deserts
makes
spread
sense.
out.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and China's a very big country.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, all these other countries are a lot smaller. Yeah.
Yeah,
that
this
makes
is true.
sense then.
All right. Well, I don't want to say good job because you got it wrong, but good job.
We
Good-
had
good
good
effort.
thought process.
Yeah, good thought processing. All right. So is that all for today? I think so. Any last words? Should we repeat what we said before? No? All right.
I think we're good.
No matter how you might plan, be comfortable and be safe.
And remember to be comfortable and safe no matter how you might plan. Always got to close it out.
Oh, all right. It's been so much fun. I feel like
Yes.
Julia, your illness is like cured. You sound great.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
I didn't get her. Yeah, sounds
I've
very
been
good.
muting myself this whole time. Every time I needed to cough, I've been muting myself.
Yeah, but only for 2 seconds at a time, and then you're back.
Yeah, it's just a little, and then I'm back. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this cured me. Maybe I just. Oh, I need to cough now. Hold on. All right, we're back. Yeah,
We're
see what I
back.
mean?
We're back.
So no, it did not cure me.
But when you are cured, I'm really excited to talk about South Carolina with you, Bahamas, and Georgia as well, Savannah, Georgia, to be specific.
Yeah, I know you've been waiting to hear about that. And that was actually supposed to be this week's episode. We were going to push Michael off a little bit, but I'm glad we had him back now.
I'm glad to be here.
Yes.
And if
Thanks
he
for
ever
having me.
wants to come back, he's welcome.
Always.
You have a home here at Runways and Byways.
I feel so welcome.
Oh.
Yeah, Katie and I were talking actually. If you ever want to be like a third host, you're welcome to, because you just have like a calming presence that me and Katie don't have.
Interesting.
Yeah, we bring the fun and you bring the chill.
Yeah, I think he like balances us out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
Good.
Yeah, so you don't have to
I'll-
agree on air. You could think about it.
I'll
It
think
is
about
not
it.
a paid position,
Yes.
but yes.
Okay.
But we'll
But
work
still, it
our
could
way
be
up
fun.
for you. Yeah.
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 Yeah, so I guess I'll give my spiel at the end
Perfect.
now.
Yes.
Okay, so I have it written down from last time. So if you want to find us online, it's www.runwaysandbyways.com. On our website, you could sign up for my budget travel planner that I've made, and that will also sign you up for the newsletter. And the budget travel planner is completely free. It helps you plan out your trip. That's how I plan out many of my trips, using that budget travel planner. And you could also sign up for podcast notifications, so you'll be notified every single time we post an episode. We have travel planning on the website, choose my destination, recommendations, and advice. So if you need any of those services, you could log on to runwaysandbyways.com and we'll be able to help you out for a small fee. And if you want to find us on social media, I have Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Pinterest, all at Runways and Byways. I also have Twitter, but it's a different @. It's at Runways and Byways. So instead of the word end, it's the letter N. And I believe that is it. Katie, am I forgetting anything?
Sounds right to me.
Also sounds right to me. I remembered actually this morning there was something I wanted to add to this and I forgot to write it down. So I guess we're adding it next time.
I mean, listen, if you type in Runways and Byways, I'm sure you will find us.
Yeah, we're all over the place. You'll find us.
Yeah. Except Apple.
Yeah. All right. Don't bring up. I told you. All right. We had this conversation earlier before we started recording about how I've been too lazy to get the podcast onto Apple. But you know what? Katie has a lot of issues with me today, I've noticed. But we'll deal with this later once we get off air. We can really hash it out. And Michael, you stay out of this because I know you're going to side with her.
I think I'll observe. I'll be an observer.
Imagine Michael's like, yeah, she's like that with me too.
She sucks.
Oh no, I would never.
And
Thanks, Michael.
well, we'll discuss this in a few minutes.
All right. It's been fun, everyone. I'll see you next episode.
Yes. So we will see you on the next episode of the Runways and Byways Travel Podcast. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Whether your plane is taking off from the runway,
Or you're driving down a byway
we'll be your guides
through it all.